YouTube, this is Charlie426, and today we have the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, HGUC Jesta Shezarr type, or Team B and C. Yeah, that's kind of a mouthful to say. Basically, in a nutshell, these are one of those Jestas that you saw in the first 23 minutes, I believe, of the Gundam narrative movie. And now the Shezarr team or type Jestas are meant to or are made to hunt down the Unicorn Unit 3 or the Phoenix Gundam. So yeah, this is what it is. So now we have two versions of the kit. We have the Shezarr type Team A version, which basically is another Jesta with the Stark Dragon backpack with those extra long thrusters that the full armor Unicorn used, or this one that comes with this Mega Launcher sniper rifle type weapon and a net gun in a nutshell. So yeah, so let's get on to the review. Now, first of all, sorry for the messy intro or setup. Now usually I would put this on a turntable. However, the kit and the weapon itself would not go on it because it's just too much. And I wanted to show you guys how the pose works because I had so much trouble getting into this pose suddenly. So wanted to show you guys that early. So as usual, we're going to be talking about the usual components and articulation. However, I won't be going over the basics, such as how it's going to hold its original beam rifle and its beam saber, because the HGUC Jesta has been reviewed a ton of times, which to the point where I don't think I need to cover every single detail. So keep that in mind. So alright, so let's talk about the usual stuff we get. So first of all, of course, you get the HGUC Jesta Shezarr type, which has that extra enhancement scope sensor, which a lot of people were kind of negative or skeptical about, but yeah, I kind of understand that. So that's that. Let's talk about leftover parts first, because regarding the leftover parts, I do have some questions. So first of all, number one, we have this part of the plate where I cut off. We have an extra left trigger finger, which is okay and fine. However, we don't get the fingers for the other fingers to cover up the hand, so which is kind of odd. Number two is this thing, which I have no idea where this is supposed to be on. I'm not sure I don't think this even belongs to a Jesta at the first place. My guess is that this somehow came from either a Razihel or something like that. But yeah, I have no idea what this piece is. So yeah. We got some leftover polycabs, which is fine. And then we have 4 handguards, or however, these are a different color compared to the ones that the Jesta uses. These are just pure plain gray, while the Jesta has those, dark bluish or blackish hand covers. So, but we get 4 of them, so that's pretty good. We get its original forehead, the one that doesn't have the scope. Let's see, we get this piece, which once again I have no idea what this is, this sort of thing. And we have some, how should I say it? We have some joints for the legs that connects the size and the leg itself, but we get some extras for some reason. And then these 2 parts, I have no idea why we have these. These are the parts that goes on the back of the legs, which I don't know why we have leftovers of these, but yeah. Alright, so that was pretty much it for the leftover parts. Let's talk about the usual stuff we get, so right over here. So as mentioned, I won't be, well, first of all, in a nutshell, we get the Jesta's original beam rifle, and I won't be demonstrating this because, the Jesta has been reviewed a lot of times, and for the record, the ammo, I forgot, the magazine does not come out, and those orange sections are a sticker. While if you have the Master Grade, which I have reviewed a long time ago, those parts would be actual orange clear piece. I would like to mention that. And the magazine is also detachable. And we have 2 beam sabers effect parts. However, you will be only using one because you only get 1 beam saber hilt, which is on the arm. Alright, so that's that. And let's talk about stickers. Now we have I was kind of surprised to see a large sticker sheet. You can see I used all the green scopes and the orange ones, and for the cameras, I pretty much did not use any of these ones because they are kind of unnecessary. Most of the pieces that you use, you're pretty much covering up the entire piece. The only reason why you would use the sticker is because of these black sections. So what I would suggest that for these parts that you just get a Gundam marker or a panel lining marker and then color the places or panel line the place that needs to be black. So that's how I would do it, or how I recommend it. But yeah, and then we have the V symbol for the crotch, which I did color in gold once again. So yeah, but I will point out what part is supposed to be a sticker as much as possible if I can, because some parts I had some trouble recognizing them. Alright, so here we have the usual stuff. Now, first of all, we have the shield. Now, if you bought the Master Grade version, there would be actually a engraved Federation symbol. No, actually, there's like a yellow Federation symbol here. That's also a separate piece, I believe. This one does not have that at all. And the missiles and the gray part would be separate colors. While for the Master Grade, this one they're both pure gray. And the inside, nothing too special. Nothing actually moves. Well, I believe, if I remember, the Master Grade version actually had this part moving around. So you can actually use the handle. And here are the parts that you would use on the backpack to connect the shield. Now, if you don't want to use the shield at all, you can have this part to cover up the hole that connects these parts. So if you want to have the shield just on the side, so not actually usable, but you still want to have it on the backpack. Sorry about that. You still want to have it on the backpack, and just lay it on there. You use this part. So because if you use this, you can barely move it like that. But if you want to have it entirely, if you want to actually use the shield, you can use this part, which actually does move around like that. Now, sorry for keep mentioning the Master Grade, but if you bought the Master Grade, you wouldn't have these, because the parts would actually move. You can fold them and move them around. Yeah, I remember that I loved the Master Grade Jesta when I first got it. Oops, sorry about that. And then let's talk about hands. Now, on the hand, currently, I'm using a left trigger finger and a open right hand. So, oh boy. So, basically, you get two left and right hands you get a open hand for left and right. And then here we have the multi-purpose hands for left and right. And then we have fists, normal fists for left and right. Yeah, this one's because of the extra left trigger finger. You're gonna lack one hand guard, or you can use that gray one if you want. And you do get there's also a right trigger finger, which I already put it on the net gun. Here is the net gun, very different from a net bazooka, I guess. I mean, the only time we actually got like a net gun type weapon was from the Gundam. No, not the Gundam ground type, but the gym ground. The gym ground type, which actually had like a net bazooka sort of thing. And once again, we have a green sticker here and a back one over there to like give out that scopish feelings. Okay, so now let's get on to the review. Now here, as I mentioned, this is technically this is how you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to kneel around, jitter around to get it onto the right position, and then to make it look like you're holding it. Now the other hand should be like supporting this section, which is kind of tricky, but it works. So yeah, this is how it works. So I'm gonna pull out this part and then straighten up the kit and show you guys the rifle, or mega beam, the mega launcher, I mean, in a more proper way. So let's put it there, and here we go. I'm gonna start with this. Now we have two stickers here on the scope and another scope right over here. Now, despite how it looks, you can it has that feeling where you can like move around this part, fold it up and down. No, that's all fake. This thing does not have any movement at all. Does not move, does not fold or open up. The only separate pieces are the entire weapon is consistent in, I'll have to say, like 3 pieces. The gun itself, but this is the undetachable because it's inside there. There's a piece that connects the bottom section to the gun, so it's not detachable unless you you disassemble everything. And then we have the bottom section, which has everything, and then we have these parts, the tripod legs. Only the back ones actually are separable, and they do not move at all. This thing does not have any articulation or rotation. And here is the trigger part with the trigger finger. I put it on to save time. So yeah, honestly, I bought this because I kind of like the way how this looks, but once again, I'm a little bit disappointed because I wish there was some more movement so you could pose it more a little bit easily because I had so much trouble posing that. Okay, now let's look at the head. Now this is, I believe, this is like an extra. The scope thing is like supposed to be like an enhancement sensor because once again, the ones that's built in have limitations. So I guess this is like an extra add-on thing. But yeah, I can see why a lot of people were not too happy with the design. Also, while I was taking picture, it was kind of tricky to get the face picture kind of in a proper way. But the way how this works is that you get another forehead, and then there's a small hole there where you can connect the scope, and that purple section is actually a sticker. And I do love the orange visor. So the head can go down that much, up not so much. 360. Well, if you know your way around, it's kind of possible, but you're gonna need to force it. And then we have a back head camera, orange as well. And then for the shoulders, we have your typical forward and backward moving shoulder that's on a ball joint inside the polycad that's inside the body. And then the arms can go about 90 degrees or a little bit more, and has your typical 360 twist, and almost like it's not a double jointed bend, but it does go more than 90 degrees. And the beam saber hilt is inside or on the arm. On the other arm, we have the magazines, the extra ammo clips, or if that's how you call it. But of course, I had some trouble putting this piece inside because unlike the Masquerade, this is actually a single piece. So it's not like three small pieces together, but you just need to push in a large piece into that part. Okay, and then here's the backpack. Now I took out one, for example. You could take out the other one if you want, but the shield is meant to go on to the left side. I mean, if you want to put it on the right side, it's really up to your choice. However, the design of the shield is meant to be on the left. So unless we get another, a right design shield, we won't be able to do that properly. So once again, it's really up to you. So if you don't want to have the shield at all, you use this part to cover up the entire. Oh, come on. You put this part to cover up the entire hole, or the other pieces that if you want to do it in some other way. Okay, and the backpack, nothing too special, just one simple hunk of a backpack. Um, so for sticker wise, one of the first stickers you'll be encountering will be on the vents, or chest vents, or that's supposed to be chest vents. Now they tell you to put on an entire sticker on top of this section, which I really don't like, and I kind of feel that's kind of unnecessary because those black lines, they're not really intentional, but since they're like pieces that come to like is consists of two pieces, you get those lines, so it's not really necessary. All you need to do is panel line those small dots, and you're good to go. No, so stickers weren't that necessary. Body wise, there's no app crunch. Just saying, but of course the waist and body is connected to a polycap ball joint. And the body does not go 360 because of all the design that's kind of blocking its way. Okay, so for the waist section, we have all these nice missiles or grenades. I mean missile pods, I believe, but that's on the side skirt that can move only a little bit, and then the front skirts are one of those things where that comes in a single piece, but you can divide it because there are two ball joints connected. And then once again, one of the stickers is that you have to use one of those stickers for the V symbol. I just call it in Gundam Gold marker. And on the vest, on these parts, they tell you to put another sticker on top of another blue piece, which is already a separate piece. Once again, kind of unnecessary. I suggest you color the inside vents with like a black panel lining marker. And the front skirt does move a good amount, and then the leg can go about 90 degrees up front. Has a side swivel, which also means it can go a little bit more to the side, not exactly 90 degrees because of some stuff blocking its way. And has now I'm not sure if this is considered a double jointed leg, but it goes more than 90 degrees. Yeah. Back skirt does not move at all, and yeah. The only part that you might need to color are these vents, because they come in the same color as these parts, and you have to color this a little bit bluish, like how the front is, and then the inside black for the vents. this part. So this one, it's really up to you. And on the legs, inside you're supposed to put a sticker in. I only suggest that you just color the vent. Inside the vent is black instead of using the entire sticker, because it's one of those stickers where you have to you put it and then fold it and then make sure the walls inside the walls gets covered up. And your feet are your typical ball jointed feet. And that's pretty much it for the articulation. Now let's look at the neck gun, which is the only weapon I'm going to be showing now. Now, unlike the beam rifle of the Jesta, this thing does not have the hole and peg system on the weapon. So you can see the handle is very, very shaky and jiggly. And after taking some photos, the poly, not the poly, yeah, the poly cap that's inside the wrist that connects the hands has become a little bit loose and weakened because I have been like moving it around a lot. Now this thing is not meant to use by one hand. Now you can see there's another handle. However, there's no the instruction manual or on the box cover they tell you to or show you an example not to use the multi-purpose hand or the trigger finger. You just get an open hand and then make it look like it's holding in two hands, something like this, or in a different pose. Yeah, once again, not what I've expected, but it still works. And well, I do like the way how this weapon looks. It's just the way some limitations of the Jesta has holding the weapons, or like the articulation here and there. So yeah, and that's pretty much it. Now, as I mentioned, if you don't really like the design or concept of this, you're not missing out much. If you already have an HGUC Jesta, I don't think it's really necessary to get this version. I don't have an I don't have an HGUC Jesta, which is why I got this. I mean, it was an okay experience. It was an okay kit. It was an okay build, but I don't think it was like a mind-blowing thing. It wasn't really necessary to release this as a retail kit. That's how I look at it. So once again, you're not missing out much. Just get it if you really want those extra weapons and stuff. I suggest it, but if not, you're not missing out much. Anyways, thank you for watching the review. This was the review of the Premium Bandai exclusive HGUC Jesta Shezarr type Team B and C. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, a Merry Christmas to all, and see you guys next time.